Real America's Voice presents The Sleeping Giant. Available now. The Charlie Kirk Show starts now.
I think of the freedom from suffering that Buddhism teaches us is only possible if we remove the three poisons of desire, hatred, and ignorance from our daily lives. We need not accept suffering as unchangeable. We need not treat hatred as the natural state. We have the power to set ourselves free. And I consider my own faith, Islam, a religion built upon a narrative of migration. The story of the Hijrah reminds us that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was a stranger too, who fled Mecca and was welcomed in Medina. Surah An-Nahl 1642 tells us, "As for those who immigrated in the cause of Allah after being persecuted, we will surely bless them with a good home in this world." Or as the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, Islam began as something strange and will go back to being strange. So glad tidings to the strangers. If faith offers us the moral compass to stand alongside the stranger, government can provide the resources. Let us create a new expectation of City Hall, where power is wielded to love, to embrace, and to protect. We will stand with the stranger today, tomorrow, and
before I say thanks to God, I'm gonna say eyes out. We're not savage, we're not animals, we're not aliens, we are humans and we are Americans. Más que un logro mío, más que un logro mío, es un logro de todos, demostrando que nuestra huella y nuestra aportación en este país nadie nunca la podrá sacar ni borrar. If you didn't understand what I just said, you have 4 months to learn.
I don't want to give any spoilers. It's gonna be fun and it's gonna be easy, and people only have to worry about dance. I know that I told them that they had 4 months to learn Spanish. They don't even have to learn Spanish. They just it's better if they learn to dance. But I think there's no better dance than the one that can come from the heart. The heartbeat dance. That's the only thing that they need to worry about and have fun and enjoy it.
President Trump says he will not be going to the Super Bowl because of this year's lineup. The halftime performance is set to be led by Latin music star Bad Bunny and Green Day. Both backed Kamala Harris in the 2024 election.
Mar-a-Lago Super Bowl party. After the first 2 quarters, are the TVs going to be on the halftime show with Bad Bunny or the halftime show with Kid Rock?
I think the president would much prefer a Kid Rock performance over Bad Bunny. I must say that.
Favorite Bad Bunny song?
You know nobody got one.
Favorite Bad Bunny song?
I don't know no Bad Bunny songs.
Favorite Bad Bunny song?
I have no idea.
Favorite Bad Bunny song?
Don't know. I don't have one either.
Favorite Bad Bunny song?
I don't listen to Bad Bunny like that, but she got some his stuff.
What is your favorite Bad Bunny song?
I don't listen to Bad Bunny, so I really don't even have one, man.
Right now on Kalshi, Bad Bunny has a 55% chance to sing Titi Me Pregunta as his first song. What is your favorite Bad Bunny song?
Titi Me Pregunto.
Train Bad Bunny for WrestleMania. Choke slam! Courtesy of Savio Vega. Now being used on Buddy. This is not going to be good. No. Oh, my God!
Hi, this is Perry Johnson. I knew Charlie Kirk. Now there's an American. And like so many Americans, I'll be watching the Super Bowl. What's happened to the NFL? They chose Dust Bunny or Bad Bunny for the halftime? The NFL thinks this is the Bunny Bowl? Join me in changing the channel during halftime to Turning Point's All-America halftime show for some great American entertainment during America's game.
they're doing? They want to steal the election. We're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue, and we're going to the Capitol. They need to take back our country.
Events in Washington have taken a violent and tumultuous turn.
January 6th wasn't just a moment in history. For thousands of Americans, it was the moment their voices were taken.
It's insurrection.
They were persecuted, hunted,
seditious conspiracy.
But behind prison walls, something unexpected happened. They found their voice again.
Started singing the national anthem.
We took it up to him at Mar-a-Lago. He goes, I'll put my voice on it.
Our supporters made this go platinum.
Real America's Voice is telling the real story of January 6th like you've never seen it before.
Everybody, this must be peaceful.
Every day, there's a battle for your mind raging. Information coming from every angle with the will to deceive. Fear not. You found the place for truth. The voice of a generation that still has the will to believe in the greatest country in the history of the world. This is the Charlie Kirk Show. Buckle up. Here we go.
All right, welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show. It's February 6th. 2026 here at the Bitcoin.com studio. Honored to be with you as always. I was just on with Steve Bannon on the War Room telling his audience, which is partly this audience, hopefully most of you stick around, about the All-American Halftime Show and where you can watch it. Blake, I've shown you some of the images, the rehearsals.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps getting better. I just saw some new ones. With all I'm going to say is lasers. It's
lasers.
Good.
Okay, I mean,
I got to keep it. I can't give away the Well,
lasers are involved. Are pyrotechnics involved?
There's the production value is insane. It's really good. And I just want to say, this Sunday,
will there be any shark
change the
people
channel.
in shark costumes?
No shark costumes. I can confirm that. This Sunday, approximately around 8 p.m. Eastern, I want you to change the channel.
From whatever you're watching.
Could be a soap opera. Could be news coverage.
Winter Olympics.
By the way, Real America's Voice is going to be doing some pregame coverage here, starting, I believe, at 7 Eastern, and that's going to be must watch. So if you're not even a big, game watcher, the sports ball isn't your thing, or whatever, check out what they're doing here at Real America's Voice. It's 7 p.m. Eastern. Rob and Parker Sig, I've said it multiple times now. I'm going to keep saying it. They are absolute rock stars and heroes. Got behind us early. They believed in the vision early. Once we made the announcement, a lot of people came rushing in. They wanted to be a part of it, and God bless them too. There's no disrespect intended. Some of them, we didn't even reach out to, but they came in and they wanted to take it. They wanted to take it live, and we already had given out all the available licenses. All of this stuff, because we're talking about Grammy-nominated songs and it's like ASCAP and performance rights. You only get so many licenses to give away when you're broadcasting on television and on social media. And so we only had so many to give out. And I call it the Coalition of the Willing for the All-American Halftime Show presented by TP USA. That's Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, Gabby Barrett. They're putting their heart and soul into their performances. I can tell you that. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. Live audience, but it's a made-for-TV concert experience. The stream will be live at approximately 8. So please tune in there. And so Real America's Voice, get it here. All of Turning Point socials, so YouTube, X, Rumble. If you have a TV made within, I think, like the last 8 years or something, you can get apps on your TV. And you should have like a YouTube app, or you can get a Rumble app. And you could just switch over to Turning Point's All-American Halftime Show. You can watch it on your phone, stream it to your TV if you have a smart TV, but it's also going to be on Daily Wire Plus, TBN, Real America's Voice, NTD, OAN, all of those. And so, and by the way, I think TBN is on a lot of traditional cable stations. I think it's in 70 million homes or something like that. So you could, if you make a plan, just know how you're going to do it. If you are technologically challenged, just get somebody younger at your barbecue or the gathering to do it. Okay, it's all very doable. I promise you that. So that's your instruction. Change the channel. And throw some of these tweets up from Charlie back in the day. There's one from 2012 mocking Madonna. 2012. That's the same year he started Turning Point USA. And the one from 2014 had one like. And he just...
that like was from God.
Yes, because it was true. It was true. So there you go. This is Charlie. One like. Clothing optional. Halftime performance? ? One like there. And it was probably his mom. It was probably, family member trying to throw him some support. But listen, that and then, of course, Charlie had 5-6 million X followers, Twitter followers, by the time he was killed. And so, I mean, he was a grinder. He saw the vision. He wanted to play in the cultural space. So God bless him. So that's just huge story of this weekend. And we've got the White House getting asked about it. President Trump and Caroline Leavitt getting asked about it. And big news. All right. So this morning there was something else. And I just love this storyline because President Trump is a guy who remembers things. Okay. He remembers Benghazi. He remembers 9/11. He does not forget about these things. And for those of you who don't know what
Younger
Benghazi
people I was just thinking, like our staff here, the 20 to 22-year-olds.
Yeah, they don't know.
They might truly not know. And I guess what I can tell you is especially it was that window just before Trump started running, I think that it peaked. And then just in the early stages of his candidacy.
It happened right before the 2012 election.
2012 election. So Benghazi is a city in Libya. And in 2012, just a few weeks before the presidential election, the United States ambassador to Libya and 2 other Americans were killed in an attack on, it wasn't the embassy, but it was the consulate because it's not.
Well, I can go through the timeline here. It's worth doing the history lesson here because the man who was responsible, or at least one of the main key people for this attack, has now been captured. And I love this. So that's the full story. I'm going to tell you the end, and now I'm going to start at the beginning. On the evening of September 11th, 2012, so it was a September 11th anniversary, it was 11 years after, militants from the Islamist group Ansar al-Sharia, linked to al-Qaeda, launched a coordinated attack on the U.S. diplomatic compound in Benghazi, Libya, breaching the gates and setting buildings on fire and overwhelming security. U.S. Ambassador J. Christopher Stevens and State Department officer Sean Smith would die from smoke inhalation and injuries inside the burning main building during the assault. A nearby CIA annex about 1 mile away came under attack hours later, around 4 a.m. on September 12th, including heavy mortar fire. CIA contractors Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty were killed while defending the site. The attacks were premeditated and terrorist in nature. So a lot of the leaders at the time, Hillary Clinton, and we'll play these clips, Barack Obama, they suggested that it was spontaneous. It was a reaction to a controversial video on YouTube.
It was this video called The Innocence of Muslims, I think is what it was. It was a pretty baffling video. And they basically, if I remember right, the man who made that video very technically violated parole or something he'd done. He was in the U.S. and they arrested him over this. It was actually very flagrant that you would have never done it in a million years in any situation other than they needed some sort of way to cover their butts over this attack. It was extremely sinister how that unfolded.
The lying afterwards made this really, really a nasty situation. Surviving U.S. personnel were eventually evacuated with the help from local Libyan militias. And broader controversy over the security failures, intelligence, and U.S. government's initial response and explanations have raged on. And because it's important, we have the clips of this morning. Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, they have captured this guy, 529.
We will prosecute this alleged terrorist to the fullest extent of the law. He'll face charges related to murder, terrorism, arson, among others. Let this case serve as a reminder. If you commit a crime against the American people anywhere in this world, President Trump's Justice Department will find you. It might not happen overnight, but it will happen. You can run, but you cannot hide.
Kash Patel goes on, said Trump never forgot Benghazi. 534.
never forget. Pam never forgot. The president never forgot. This FBI never forgot. And certainly U.S. Attorney Pirro never forgot. When an act of terrorism of this magnitude strikes at the heart of our nation, we go to work. President Trump has given us the full resources at the FBI and across the interagency to make sure we deliver justice.
I love this story because you consider this in contrast to Afghanistan, where we just like bail, we just leave, to hell with the consequences. Doesn't matter what who gets away with what.
It's what I like about it is it's the sort of issue where it was a huge cause a decade ago. A lot of people paid attention to it then. It got a lot of focus on it, and then most people moved on. And there's not really a big political reward to pursuing it, but it really mattered to a few people that this get finished.
4 dead Americans. We'll be back.
Exactly what they're doing. They want to steal the election. We're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue, and we're going to the Capitol. They need to take back our country.
Events in Washington have taken a violent and tumultuous turn.
January 6 wasn't just a moment in history. For thousands of Americans, it was the moment their voices were taken.
It's insurrection.
They were persecuted, hunted.
Seditious conspiracy.
But behind prison walls, something unexpected happened. They found their voice again.
Started singing the national anthem.
We took it up to him at Mar-a-Lago. He goes, I'll put my voice on it.
Our supporters made this go platinum.
Real America's Voice is telling the real story of January 6 like you've never seen it before.
Everybody, this must be peaceful.
This is not the story you were shown.
I take responsibility.
This is the story they live.
Government entrapment scheme that this actually was.
The J6 Patriots are no longer staying silent. They are speaking, they are standing, and they are telling the truth.
You can't kill us. You can't beat us.
Scan the QR code or visit RealAmericasVoice.com. Real America's Voice presents The Sleeping Giant. Available now. Through every storm, every moment of uncertainty,
everybody needs to pray for Charlie Kirk right now.
Rev has stood strong.
We're not going to tolerate this stuff anymore.
Turn that anger into motivation to save this nation.
When we move together, there is power.
The cries of this widow will echo like a battle cry.
This is more than news. It's a movement.
This revolution of people taking their countries back.
A turning point. A chance to be part of something greater than yourself. Scan the QR code and stand with Rav. The story isn't over, and neither is your part in it. Step in, be counted, be heard. Together, we are Rav.
We will achieve American greatness. And we are just getting.
All right, welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show. Listen, I want to tell you about our friends over at YRefi. You've probably been hearing me talk about them for some time now. We are all in with YRefi. All in. It's a perfect mix of mission and what we're doing here on the show, what we're doing at Turning Point, and what they do and what they offer. They help you with private student loan debt. So if you or someone you know is struggling with private student loan debt, please take my advice and give them a call today. Maybe you're behind on your payments. Maybe you are even in default. YRefi will provide you with a custom payment based on your ability to pay. That's the key thing here. They tailor each loan individually. They can save you thousands of dollars and get you your life back. We go to campuses all over America, and we see student after student who's struggling with this. And by the way, Y-Refi has dozens and dozens and dozens of stories of people that are depressed, suicidal. They call in. Y-Refi gives them a lifeline, helps them out of a really tricky situation. So again, this is private student loan debt, different than federal student loans, which is a whole nother topic. We should unpack that, actually. The direct linkage between federal student loans and the bloat in higher education. Anyways, go to Y-Refi. That's the letter Y and then Refi, YREFY.com. And remember, Y-Refi doesn't care what your credit score is. Just go to YRefi.com and tell them that Andrew sent you here at the Charlie Kirk Show. They'll help you out. All right. So one of the reasons I love that FBI press conference so much is because, to Blake's point, there wasn't an immediate pressing political need to do that. There wasn't. The payout for them is going to be minimal, whatever. I like it because it was the right thing to do, because it was vengeance for a wrong committed against Americans. And that's a big deal to me, actually. We have this ethic of no man left behind. When you're on the battlefield, no American left behind. And we always need to keep that front and center, because that is what strikes fear into the heart of the enemy. That is why they know we mean business, because we have these values that are unimpeachable. And those got impeached by a president who didn't get impeached, ironically, Joe Biden. I mean, everything went by the wayside. And by the way, Obama lied about this. Hillary Clinton lied about this. This is 2012 with Obama lying about this on Letterman, of all places, 549.
Here's what happened. You had a video that was released by somebody who lives here, sort of a shadowy character who is an extremely offensive video directed at Muhammad and Islam. This caused great offense in much of the Muslim world. But what also happened was extremists and terrorists used this as an excuse to attack a variety of our embassies, including the consulate in Libya.
So that wasn't true. And here's Hillary Clinton saying, what does it matter? 547.
The fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make?
Yeah. That one ran on loop for a long time. I want to drive home, I guess, if you're a younger viewer, this was constant drumbeat circa 2014, 2013. I remember it going viral. There was a site called Ricochet. I wonder if it's still around. I should check. And I remember a viral post that was like rallying the troops after the 2012 defeat, and it was like, I am Spartacus. Like, you're going to keep fighting. It was like, I am Spartacus because of Benghazi.
It went deep. It went deep because the flippant attitude, what does it matter? What difference does it make? That's not the America that elected Donald Trump. We care, and we don't forget. I like this story as well because it's part of a broader law and order narrative that I think we need to do a better job telling on our side. Antifa Kyle, who had been terrorizing ICE agents and trying to rile people up to attack them, to kill them, has been arrested as well. A little FAFO story. 520. Here's Antifa Kyle. It's not pleasant viewing, but you need to know what you're dealing with. 520.
Show up ready to go. Okay, I'm not talking about peaceful protests anymore. We're not talking about having polite conversations anymore. Sorry, but welcome to America 2026, where Second Amendment is the only thing that's going to keep you protected from literal Nazi gunmen that are killing innocent people in the street with impunity. This is not a joke. There's nothing fun to chant about it. Get your guns and stop these people.
Pleasant guy. He's now been arrested, which I'm very excited about. Anyways, and this guy's a real creep. You could see these videos are just too good. 543, him getting arrested. He's outside. 542, getting escorted down the stairs here, screaming like a crazy person. Sorry, you threaten law enforcement, that's what's going to happen. And everybody needs to know that that is going to be the result if you threaten law enforcement. But listen to this. This is a huge, huge success story. There has been a historic 20% drop in the nationwide murder rate. Now we are at 4 per 100,000. That is the lowest level in recorded history, certainly by 1900, since 1900. So are we just going to act like this is business as usual, or are we going to give President Trump some kudos here? It's crazy what happens when you deport a lot of people that like to cause crime. Blake, I know this is one of your pet issues. When you actually arrest people, this very small percentage of the population that commits most of the crime,
it goes down.
It goes down.
It really is. Crime is a solved problem. It has actually been solved multiple times. And then people they forget the lesson because they find it unpleasant.
Well,
because
you're right.
The real truth is crime goes away if you take the people who commit the most of it and you promptly and efficiently and quickly and just punish them. And if you get them out of the streets, there are people who just cannot control themselves. They will commit crimes if they're out in public. There was one, I think, just another arrest in New York the other day where a man, I think he raped a 14-year-old, and that was his 27th felony or some such. And it's just over and over. There are these people who obviously should not be out in public. They should just not be allowed to participate in society. They're too dangerous. They'll never get better.
100% increase in violent crime arrests year to year. 1,800 gangs and criminal enterprises have been disrupted. That's a 210% increase. 2,000 kilos of fentanyl has been seized, enough to kill 130 million people. 490% increase in FBI-affiliated nihilistic violent extremist arrest. A plus 20% increase in FBI arrests related to the 764 network. Over 6,000 child victims located. 1,700 child predators arrested. That's up 10%. 300 plus human traffickers arrested. Down and down it goes. It's just amazing what happens when you unshackle law enforcement and you say, hey, go get the bad guys. We don't care what color they are. We don't care if they're a privileged class. Just go arrest the bad guys and deport the rest. We're going to turn our attention to Fulton County next. Can't wait for this discussion. We'll be right back.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shopped. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again. Every dollar you give is being matched up to $50,000. Go now to j6support.com and donate today. This is a monumental moment in American culture. This Sunday, Real America's Voice and Real America's Music come together to do what the mainstream industry won't. Take the music back. Starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, we go live with exclusive free coverage of the Turning Point USA All-American Halftime Show, a patriotic alternative. For years, the left has weaponized the music industry, using it to push politics, erase values, and divide the country. That ends now. This all-American halftime show exists to celebrate American pride, traditional values, and artists who still stand with the heartland. Featuring Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett, artists who connect with real Americans. Join us live for coverage that turns the music industry on its head. Real America's Voice, Real America's Music, the TPUSA All-American Halftime Show.
Hi, I'm Chris from Illinois, and we like to watch Real America's Voice in the War Room with Stephen K. Bannon for all the great guts. Everyone from Cherry Lake, the great Frank Gaffney, Trump coming for retribution.
Hey guys, my name is Jeff. I'm from Massachusetts. I love RAV because of the free speech and the political wranglings that go on in the chat every day.
and I love Real America's Voice, where my voice counts and your voice counts. That is America's Voice.
International disputes, inflation, rising national debt, and digital currency. There's a never-ending list of reasons why gold has risen over 700% in the last 20 years. And there's also a never-ending list of reasons why smart Americans are diversifying a portion of their savings into precious metals with the Birch Gold Group. More than any other commodity on Earth, gold thrives in times of uncertainty, which is why it's a crucial part of a balanced strategy. It gives you peace of mind given all the events that could impact the U.S. economy. See if holding gold in a tax-sheltered retirement account is right for you as well. The Birch Gold Group can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. All you have to do is text the word America to the number 989898 and you'll receive your free information kit on gold. There's no obligation here, just useful information. With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of satisfied customers, allow the Birch Gold Group to help you diversify with gold so that you too can have peace of mind regardless of the uncertainty. Text the word America to the number 989898. Again, text America to the number 989898. Terrence Bates here with your Real America's Voice news break. The Winter Olympics opening ceremonies are today. Thursday, Vice President J.D. Vance met with members of the USA team to encourage them. The country's current second in charge is following in the footsteps of his predecessors, Joe Biden back in 2010 and Mike Pence in 2018, by visiting the Winter Olympics. Former Vice President Kamala Harris did not attend the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing because the Biden administration launched a diplomatic boycott of those games over human rights concerns in China. President Trump's Trump accounts for newborns and young children continue to gain more private support. The latest company to join the effort is Wall Street giant Citi. Citi says it will match the federal government's initial $1,000 seed money for its U.S.-based employees. Eligible accounts will be for kids born between January 1st of last year and December 31st of 2028. And President Trump's Trump RX discount drug website is up and running. It launched on Thursday, offering patients a new option for buying discount prescription drugs with cash instead of using their insurance. That's a quick check of your headlines.
Stop watching the news and start making some. The Charlie Kirk Show.
All right, welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show. We have our next guest here, Georgia State Senator Greg Dolezal. And this is a fascinating insight into what's happening into Fulton County. So, Greg, are you there? I believe we have you all logged on here. There you are.
Yeah, great to see you. Honor to be with you guys.
Great to have you. Great to have you. You know what? I was reading your biography here. This is small aside, but you used to be a tour manager for Chris Tomlin.
I did. I spent a decade on the road with Chris, traveling all over the world from 2005 to 2015 as his tour manager. It was awesome.
That's wild. I have a weird memory from Seattle where Chris played a show in, I want to say 2006, but I don't know. I'm just curious if our paths ever crossed there. But Chris played at Charlie's memorial, so that's why I took note, and that's fantastic. So we love Chris and appreciate him, making the time to honor Charlie in that way. It was an amazing day. I
texted him. Andrew, I texted him the morning of that event, and I told him, I'm like, man, I'm so proud you're doing this. And that morning, we didn't know what the event was going to be. We didn't know it was going to be the greatest thing that most of us have ever seen in our lifetime. And the conventional wisdom would be from management, like, stay away from political stuff. So I just sent him a text, like, man, I'm so proud of you. And he's like, it's time to be bold. And it was really fun for me to watch, not only Chris, but Brandon Lake and Phil Wickham and a bunch of friends that I've been around the world with or been with a Passion Conference, which I've produced for 20 years now. And watching those guys lead the world in worship was unbelievable.
Yeah, people don't realize that was probably, this is not why we had you on here, by the way. We will get into the story, but people don't realize that was probably the largest proclamation of the gospel to the largest audience at any one event, any one moment in the history of humanity. There was hundreds of millions of people watching around the world, and they were singing to Jesus, and everybody at home and everybody in that stadium were singing to Jesus all at the same time. And I don't think people understand just the significance of it. I don't know that we ever will, actually, Greg.
Yes, I actually texted Chris afterwards. I said, man, we traveled the world for a decade, and you led worship for more people today than you did in those 10 years combined. And then you had Marco Rubio give the clearest presentation of the gospel that I've ever seen in my lifetime with no notes, probably one of the most impressive things I've seen. And then the thing that floored everyone was Erica Kirk and her proclamation of forgiveness, which really put skin on the gospel message for anybody who would have been watching that day. It was hats off to your team, because it was amazing. Y'all pulled that off within a week. I produce live events for a living, and what your team did, I've never seen anybody do anything like it. It was phenomenal. It was a miracle on so many levels. And to that point, I would say potentially, not on the same level of miracle, but the fact that we saw action in Fulton County is another miracle, I would say. You live in Georgia. You're a state senator there. You're doing a lot of work. I've heard your name mentioned a number of times in the midst of everything that's going on. I know you're making waves down there, and you were early on this. And I watched a video of yours going around to all these locations where you have registered voters, dozens of them in some locations, at ineligible, illegal locations. So you've been on kind of the voter roll story. You've been on the what's happening in Fulton County story for a long time. So what were the findings that you know of, and why do you think the FBI and even Tulsi Gabbard were there in Fulton County? Yeah, and there's so much to unpack here, but for your viewers, just, Georgia's unique. You've got a massive state with one capital city, Atlanta, Georgia, in the middle of Fulton County. And about half of the people live in that metro area of the entire state. And so what happens in Fulton County is very, very, very significant. And going all the way back to 2020, one of the reasons that a couple of us stood up and called for a special session of the General Assembly after the 2020 election is we knew that essentially there was all sorts of craziness happening all over the state, but it was Fulton County was kind of the epicenter of it. And we did this recount here, and everybody likes to talk about the fact that, well, you had 3 recounts. We had 3 recounts, but we had a bunch of ballots in the mix that probably never should have been in the mix. No matter how often you count a fraudulent ballot or an illegal ballot, it's still an illegal ballot. And so we knew at the time, first and foremost, that drop boxes had been invented out of thin air, meaning that we had deployed drop boxes all over the state. There was nowhere in Georgia law. But since we were under a COVID executive order, the Secretary of State had the ability to do that. We had this mobile voting unit driving all around Fulton County, collecting ballots from people who would show up at a precinct that maybe wasn't a precinct that would be open on that day, but they used Zuckerberg money to deploy these mobile voting units to 80% Democrat precincts, of course. But then if you fast forward to today, you've got all of these illegal voters registered to vote, UPS stores, pack mails, empty lots, abandoned buildings, homeless shelters that have been closed since 2017. It's madness. And so Fulton County is an incompetent county. And the reason I think that the FBI came was because the FBI has been kind of kicking the tires around here for the last couple of weeks, and they went to a judge. They got probable cause using what evidence we don't know, but the judge looked at that and said, there's probable cause to believe that a crime has been committed here. And so that's the real interesting thing here is what is the crime, how many criminals were there, and what charges may come out of this. That's what we don't know. But what we do know is there were double scanned ballots in Fulton County. The recount numbers never reconciled. And then all of the other things in essentially the execution of that election that were nowhere in Georgia law.
Here's a video that you put on social media that I think is really powerful, because it's almost like a Nick Shirley moment where you go around and you show them how many people have been registered to vote at these locations that are completely illegal locations to be registered at. 568.
All right, y'all, this is 850 Oak Street in Fulton County, and there are 19 people registered to vote at this abandoned house. All right, so we are 1445 Woodmont Lane, physicaladdress.com, 138 people registered to vote.
I mean, you can go right on their website. They don't have that many beds.
This is 477 Peachtree Street. There's 70 people registered to vote here. It's a homeless shelter that closed in 2017. 2625 Piedmont, another UPS store, 96 registered voters right here in direct violation of Georgia law. Not hard to find for us, apparently pretty hard to find for Fulton County.
Just unbelievable.
So it does flabbergast me a little. I can look. Georgia has had a Republican Secretary of State since 2007. You guys have a Republican legislature, a Republican governor. Kind of, yeah, we lose some of these federal races, but at the state level, it's very Republican. So it feels like you should be able to send that video to somebody in the state government and cause things to happen. Is that not occurring?
Yeah, to be perfectly transparent with you, we in the General Assembly have really been at odds with our Secretary of State. And our Secretary of State has kind of promulgated and then gone all in on this lie that the 2020 election was the most secure election in American history. And it's demonstrably false for all the reasons I just told you guys. I could roll out 5 more reasons that's demonstrably false. And so the media is all too happy to get behind him and say, yeah, perfect election. They scanned the ballot. They scanned the ballots 3 times. There were 3 recounts. There was a hand recount, and they don't talk about the fact that the state election board has heard cases since then that prove that the recount was inaccurate. And then you go really upstream of that. And you're like, well, how did people vote? And one thing, if you guys go look on my X feed, that's pretty wild. Back in 2020, we didn't have photo ID law in Georgia for absentee ballots. So we had 1.3 million people vote absentee. So the way that you get an absentee ballot is you would sign your name to a ballot request form, send it in, they'd send you a ballot. They're supposed to check the signatures. Well, we know essentially that they didn't check the signatures because myself and a number of friends botched our signatures, had kids sign signatures, do all that, send our ballots in, ballot request forms in, and in every case, we got a ballot back. So, yes, we do have essentially a Republican governor, Secretary of State, General Assembly. We've moved the needle a good bit. We did move on voter ID, and we have passed some good things, but there has been really no interest in looking at what happened in 2020, looking at the fact pattern of 2020 objectively, from some of the highest people in the state. And frankly, just to name him, one of those is the Secretary of State.
That's wild. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that want to see an investigation. I don't think I'm being too bold to say into Raffensperger, but it's wild to hear you say it. This picture went viral. This is Tulsi Gabbard, 569, lurking at this event, or this raid, if you will. That's Tulsi Gabbard on a phone there. And President Trump has said, listen, there could be foreign interference in this situation in Fulton. So, and he made a good point. He said the Democrats are always saying it was Russia. They're always saying whatever. Could be China. Could be Serbia. Whatever. So, yeah, send Tulsi down there. Tulsi's smart. She's not gonna mess around here. Here is a video, and I want you to explain this to us. We have 2 minutes left here. 574.
Does the investigation confirm that there are missing ballot images?
Yes.
Do you know why 380,761 ballot images from Election Day machine count are not available?
We subpoenaed Fulton County for all of their ballot images. We received approximately 518,000 ballot images.
No ballot images for 380,761 ballots from Election Day, correct?
What was subpoenaed was the ballot images for the recount.
What's going on there, Greg? And 1 minute left here.
got to remember how we vote here in Georgia. You get a ballot that's printed by a ballot marking device. When it gets sent to the tabulator takes essentially a JPEG file. It's actually a TIFF file. It takes an image of that ballot. And that is what you use, so the public can use to see and verify votes. Thousands and thousands and thousands of those ballot images are missing, which I think is why the FBI wanted to go get their hands on the actual ballots. Fulton County has tried to have the ballots destroyed. They're now fighting to get them back. They are hell-bent on making sure that nobody can see these ballots.
Why would you want to destroy them? Yeah, why would you want to destroy them? I mean, okay, save some space. You can go buy a warehouse for, space in a warehouse for a couple bucks. Like, this is sketchy. There's no doubt about it. This is really sketchy. Greg, I don't mean to cut you off, but just in the interest of time, what happens next? 15 seconds. We're going to wait and see. We're going to wait and see what the FBI comes back with. We're going to continue to do work in the state Senate on changing laws to ensure that our elections moving forward have some modicum of integrity. We've got to get rid of these voting machines in Georgia. We want to follow what Trump has said in terms of moving to paper ballots, and we're actively working on that. Good for you. We'll have you back on, Greg, as more news emerges from this and we find out what they're actually going to charge with and all the things. But we're watching. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shop. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again. Every dollar you give is being matched up to $50,000. Go now to j6support.com and donate today. This is a monumental moment in American culture. This Sunday, Real America's Voice and Real America's Music come together to do what the mainstream industry won't. Take the music back. Starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, we go live with exclusive free coverage of the Turning Point USA All-American Halftime Show, a patriotic alternative. For years, the left has weaponized the music industry, using it to push politics, erase values, and divide the country. That ends now. This All-American Halftime Show exists to celebrate American pride, traditional values, and artists who still stand with the heartland. Featuring Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett, artists who connect with real Americans. Join us live for coverage that turns the music industry on its head. Real America's Voice, Real America's Music, the TPUSA All-American Halftime Show.
All right, welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show. We have to hit Governor DeWine out of Ohio.
Yes, we do.
We do.
So this has been...
Yes. And by the way, welcome to the Bitcoin.com studio.
Bitcoin.com studio and Bitcoin.com, Arizona. So we have a Republican governor in Ohio.
Quotes very much.
Yeah, we cannot put enough quotation marks around that since 2020, basically. But a story that's been going on in the background here is the saga of temporary protected status. That is a program that exists in this country for some reason where illegal immigrants from various countries can receive TPS, temporary status. And the idea, this was created so that countries hit by hurricanes, for example, like you wouldn't be deported to your country if it had literally just been hit by a hurricane because it was unreasonable for you to leave immediately. That's what it was created for. But if there is a tool to keep someone who doesn't belong in the United States in the United States, the left will find this, fixate on it, and find a way to make it permanent. So we had asylum claims. Now everyone claims asylum. And we have temporary protected status. You can go check, and the left they'll get temporary protected status on a country, and they'll keep it there for literally decades.
It's worse than that.
Yes.
We will fund the NGOs that learn how to game these loopholes.
Exactly.
So you pay for it.
For example, Haiti got hit by a devastating earthquake in 2010 or 2011, around then, and they've been in temporary status. Anyone illegally from Haiti ever since has benefited from that program. You know, just a little temporary thing until Haiti gets back on its feet. Well, shocker, hasn't really happened because the country was never really on its feet. So anyway, the Trump administration, one of the many things it's been aiming to do besides ICE, besides securing the border, they've been trying to roll back this TPS so that these people should go home.
Go home.
And this has, of course, created all manner of backlash. And so this dates us back to a big story from the 2024 election, which is the saga of Springfield, Ohio. You'll remember more than 10,000 Haitians have been settled in this small Ohio town a little bit north of Dayton, I believe, or around near Dayton, I believe.
They're eating the dogs.
That's the mean
cats.
thing. But setting aside that specific claim, they've totally transformed this town with over 10,000 deeply foreign people who don't speak English, have a lot of cultural differences.
One of your new neighbors.
Exactly. And if they haven't killed dogs and cats, they seem to have killed the geese.
They killed all the geese.
But anyway, and this county swerved dramatically towards Trump in that election, I will note, 63% for Trump. But Governor DeWine is very upset at the prospect that they might lose TPS, and he said this on CNN, of course, the other day. Let's play 554.
We're looking at people who are working hard every day. The Haitians in Springfield are one example of that. Under temporary protected status, they're here legally, and they're working. And what the employers have told me time and time again is we hired Haitians year, 2, 3 years ago, frankly, because we couldn't fill these jobs. Springfield has been moving forward. Springfield is coming back. Part of the reason they've been able to come back is because of these Haitians who are there. They're not only working, but of course they're spending money in the community. If we lose all of those, if they lose temporary protected status, then they no longer can work and the companies can't employ them. That's a blow to the economy. That's a blow to the state.
So I really want to fixate on this because that is a specific thing that dominated the 2024 election. The fact that they'll just take super foreign populations and drop them in the middle of America and offload all the externalities, all the problems this causes. Like Springfield has enough problems, and now their local school district has to make sure they can hire experts in Haitian Creole. The local FBI offices in these places and law enforcement, they need to get these Haitian Creole speakers because they have endless problems with it. And he says they're like enriching the economy. Well, first of all, apparently not, because Springfield, other than these people, is not really growing. People move away from the effects of this kind of resettlement. They are not all rushing to this newly thriving place. They are leaving. The county is still shrinking despite all the influx of these Haitians. But I also want to highlight what the actual economic system works, because a lot of people don't realize who specifically is benefiting from this. So I'm reading the Springfield News Sun. This was the local news coverage while the whole dogs and cats things was unfolding. What happens is there's temporary staffing agencies, and they've done this in Springfield. They had someone who got imprisoned who was convicted of a crime for this in Pennsylvania, in Charleroi, another city that got Haitians. All of these Haitians are showing up in Florida. A lot of them would arrive there and claim asylum during the Biden years. And then these staffing agencies will swoop in with buses and vans, and they will pick them up and say, hey, do you want to work somewhere? And they'll haul them up into these Midwestern states, and then they'll house them in like a dilapidated property they own at like an extremely low rate. They'll house them there. They'll rent them out as temp workers to all these different companies. And it's basically like they've systematically cut out all of the actual locals who could work in this place. And instead they brought in low-wage laborers who will live in horrible conditions because they can tolerate that. They're from Haiti. They'll work for incredibly low wages. In the Pennsylvania case, at least, they caught them with a tax evasion dimension where they were just not paying any of the required taxes on all of these workers. And it's just an entire operation to replace American workers in American cities.
That's a conspiracy theory.
Oh, yeah, massive conspiracy theory, until they get literally convicted in federal court, which one of them was in early 2025 in Pennsylvania. And I suspect if you looked really hard in Springfield, you'd find a very similar pattern of behavior. Even when the owner of one of these businesses in this article, he's defending himself. It's called First Diversity Staffing, by the way. It really drives it home for you. First Diversity Staffing. And he says, yeah, I get why people are mad. I'm an outsider who's helping outsiders. Like, you're not revitalizing Springfield, Governor DeWine. You're creating a skin suit of Springfield.
Well, that's when it gets really grating to me to listen to a governor, a Republican in name only, governor defending this. And, I want to put up J.D. Vance's tweet. This is about something similar, but he makes a good point here. Take your eye down to the lower paragraph here. He says, because you hear this claim all the time. Well, these are legal asylees. They're in the country legally.
Yeah.
J.D. Vance rejects that premise. So should you. Final paragraph here said, the Biden-Harris administration literally created an app, the CBP-1 app, to digitize the violation of federal immigration law and allow anyone who claimed asylum to stay indefinitely. This is illegitimate, illegal, and the American people rejected it. Just because you use an app to get into the country, just because you claim asylum, does not mean any of that was done on the up and up. I completely agree with the vice president here. Reject the premise. These people are illegitimate asylees, okay? Illegitimate, and they all need to go.
Yes, and just as a general rule, you are not revitalizing your country if you replace all the people in it with new people living a completely different way. You are elected to help Americans. And if you want to revitalize Springfield, you help the Americans there. You don't drive them out, replace them, let them die of ODs, and then say, oh, it's magical, this new prosperity we've created.
Look at Somaliland.
Totally outrageous.
Somaliland.
This is not what the people of Springfield voted for. It's not what the people of that county voted for.
Haitians and Somalis. It's your neighbors. It's the Democrat vision.
AMA next.
AMA next. We'll be right back.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shopped. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again. Every dollar you give is being matched up to $50,000. Go now to j6support.com and donate today. This is a monumental moment in American culture. This Sunday, Real America's Voice and Real America's Music come together to do what the mainstream industry won't. Take the music back. Starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, we go live with exclusive free coverage of the Turning Point USA All-American Halftime Show, a patriotic alternative. For years, the left has weaponized the music industry, using it to push politics, erase values, and divide the country. That ends now. This All-American Halftime Show exists to celebrate American pride, traditional values, and artists who still stand with the heartland. Featuring Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett, artists who connect with real Americans. Join us live for coverage that turns the music industry on its head. Real America's Voice, Real America's Music, the TPUSA All-American Halftime Show. This is a monumental moment in American culture. This Sunday, Real America's Voice and Real America's Music come together to do what the mainstream industry won't. Take the music back. Starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, we go live with exclusive free coverage of the Turning Point USA All-American Halftime Show, a patriotic alternative. For years, the left has weaponized the music industry, using it to push politics, erase values, and divide the country. That ends now. This all-American halftime show exists to celebrate American pride, traditional values, and artists who still stand with the heartland. Featuring Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett. Artists who connect with real Americans. Join us live for coverage that turns the music industry on its head. Real America's voice, real America's music. The TPUSA All-American Halftime Show.
To this Real America's Voice news break, I'm Terrence Bates. While Congress has about a week left to hash out funding for the Department of Homeland Security and by extension ICE, Republican lawmakers are continuing to push to make your neighborhood safer. Real America's Voice congressional correspondent Benny Ray Harmony discussed the matter with Florida Congresswoman Kat Cammack.
How can we be deterrent to stop the trafficking of drugs and individuals into the United States? On the back end, cleaning up Biden's mess, we saw millions and millions of illegals cross over, many of whom had criminal records. But what has been absolutely crazy to me is that we have been hearing stories all around the United States in cities and departments that you have sworn officers that are non-citizens. They are illegals. They are carrying guns and they are tasked with upholding the law. Now, I don't know about you, but as a citizen, I find it pretty scary that an illegal has arresting authority over me. And so we have introduced the COP Act, Citizens Only Police, and we are pushing for that to hit the floor because no illegal should be in law enforcement. You broke the law, you shouldn't be tasked with upholding it then.
How are you guys combating that border crisis here in Congress?
Well, certainly President Trump has locked the border down. He has taken it from an extreme high to record lows. And I can't say enough good about what President Trump has done in securing the border and trying to stop that flow. But as we know, these cartels, these narco-terrorist cells, they are incredibly creative. So we know that the drugs are landing in cities all around America. Every town in America has become a border town thanks to Joe Biden. In my own district, we had bricks of fentanyl with the stamp of border cartels that were found, and enough fentanyl in one brick was enough to kill everyone in my particular county 10 times over. That is how incredibly pervasive this issue is and how it has impacted every single American across the country. You have, at one point in time, 100,000 Americans that were being poisoned to death by fentanyl. Now, that equates out to about 300 a day. Imagine an airliner dropping out of the sky every day. There would have been flights grounded by the end of the week. There would have been a task force to figure out what's going on. But because this was deliberate, there was an open border policy by the Biden administration, they wanted to look the other way. And as a result, Americans died. We have to address the magnets, right? The narco-terrorism networks, they are fueled by both the drug sales and the benefits and profits that come with that, but they're also engaged in the human trafficking element. And so we have to cut off the magnets that are drawing people to the United States. All the freebies, all the things that people are saying, listen, this is what we're going to go to the United States and we're hearing that we're going to get all this free crap. And it's true, under the Biden administration, there was a system set up for that. But we also need to put in place the systems that will support people who are dealing with addiction. We have to tackle a lot of these elements that are really pushing the drug trade. I think Snapchat is a huge part of kids getting a hold of drugs. That is something that we know to be true. So we have so many things that we've got to block and tackle, but it is a process and we're fully engaged.
That was RAV congressional correspondent Benny Ray Harmony talking with Florida Congresswoman Kat Cammack. Advertisers are pulling out, all the stops to win Sunday's Super Bowl commercial sweepstakes. Getting the attention of 120 million viewers is at stake. Celebrities ranging from Kendall Jenner to George Clooney to the iconic Budweiser Clydesdales will be featured in ads this weekend. Expect to see lots of ads for AI and tech companies this year. Telehealth and weight loss drugs will also be featured pretty heavily. Last year, a record 127.7 million people watched the big game. On average, 30-second spots cost about $8 million. Some spots we're hearing will be upwards of $10 million. President Trump's accounts for newborns and young children continue to gain more private support. The latest company to join the effort is Wall Street giant Citi. Citi says it will match the federal government's initial $1,000 seed money for its U.S.-based employees. Eligible accounts will be for young kids born between January 1st of last year and December 31st of 2028. In its note to employees, Citi writes, and this is a quote, "These accounts are intended to promote long-term savings from a young age and provide children with investment assets that will grow over time." That's a quick check of your headlines.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shopped. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again. Every dollar you give is being matched up to $50,000. Go now to j6support.com and donate today. This is a monumental moment in American culture. This Sunday, Real America's Voice and Real America's Music come together to do what the mainstream industry won't. Take the music back. Starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, we go live with exclusive pre-coverage of the Turning Point USA All-American Halftime Show, a patriotic alternative. For years, the left has weaponized the music industry, using it to push politics, erase values, and divide the
Hour 2 of the Charlie Kirk Show is underway. You might notice a few additions to the studio set. To my left, Mikey McCoy, the great.
Nope. Remove the adjective.
Tyler Boyer to my right, COO of Turning Point Action. Of course, Blake Neff, co-host here.
Tyler wearing a very excellent hat.
Yeah. Blake just put it together that the Diamondbacks, the baseball team. Sorry, I'm so used to being vague this week.
I just always called them the D-backs, so I never really kind of, the Diamonds,
because we are in the desert here. Anyway,
well, no, that's not why. It's that their baseball diamond has a diamond, so they call it the diamond.
It's a cute thing because
I just didn't realize that part of it. Yeah, I knew they named it that because there is a snake in the desert, Andrew.
Yeah. All right, well, fine.
But baseball diamond, diamondback, it's actually really smart.
All right, so this is our Friday Hour 2 Ask Us Anything hour, of course. So if you want to be a participant in this, join us at members.charliekirk.com, members.charliekirk.com. I'm still stoked about the feedback that we got at AmFest for our members lounge there. We get to see the interviews live. Had hundreds and hundreds of you all join us there. And now you get to call in and be a part of the show. Our first question is from Anthony. Anthony, unmute yourself. Welcome to the show.
What's up, guys? Blake, it's a snake that lives in the desert. It's an actual real snake called.
I know it's a snake that lives in the desert. I know.
On you, Anthony.
I just didn't make the connection that they used Diamondback specifically as a baseball kind of word.
Blake, have you run into any rattlesnakes since you've been here?
No. I also haven't run into any tarantulas, which I'm told is good because
have you seen the javelinas?
No, I don't see any animals. The only things I see here are those tiny
I've seen them here on campus. Yeah. Yes.
We had javelinas.
Yes.
We used to, before we had the gate, like many years ago, and before we had so many people down here, when we first got in this building, every night javelinas would come off the mountain, and they come down to eat trash. That's all they would do.
Javelinas is a thing I didn't even know about. And then one day I was here, had no idea. It was late at night. I was one of the last people to leave, and there's these huge pig things. They look like pigs.
They're actually rats. They're
really rats. They're not related to
they're related to capybara.
Got it.
Yeah. Anyways, they're running through and everybody's like, get in your car because they could be rabid. All right, Anthony, what's your question?
So it's kind of, there's two questions. The first one is about the SAVE Act. I know what it's supposed to do, but how does it affect local and state elections? Because I'm hearing in our state that, well, if the SAVE Act gets passed, we're going to have two types of elections, one for state elections, one for federal, two different departments, and it's really not going to do anything for the state and local elections. And then my other question is this. We have a candidate running for state assembly in my district, and we're going to probably have to do a primary. One of the candidates, some people are saying she's too conservative. Can somebody actually be too conservative?
Not to this show.
So I'm going to tell you the answer to that question is no, but it depends on what election you're talking about. Do you know what election you're talking about?
The election for the too conservative candidate, Tyler, is that the one you're asking?
Yeah. What state?
It's New York State. It would be, so I'm District 25, but my town goes into the next county. I think we're Assembly 130.
Yeah, we'll spare the national audience for that. But if you want to email over the two candidates' names, I can take a look at it for you from people we trust and let you know who's who and what's what.
Yeah, like the concept of like too conservative, like Bill Buckley used to have that shorthand principle that you should try to elect the most conservative electable candidate. Like, it is possible to nominate a person who just can't win in that jurisdiction, and that's often going to be a waste of time trying to put that person up if there's a person who could win that you could nominate instead. You also could say, like, you don't want to use, maybe people will attack me for this, but there is a factor that comes into play, like, is a person competent? Is a person fully stable? Like, there are certainly candidates out there whose brand is just being the most conservative person, but they're otherwise like a wrecking ball of causing discord. Yeah. They can't run a good campaign. They're inflammatory. Those are all things that are not helpful to have in a general election.
Inflammatory can be okay.
It depends. Like, it's a fine line. Obviously, Trump is inflammatory.
Use prudence.
You have to use prudence, but yeah, like there can be people who are just frankly like mentally imbalanced lunatics who run for office.
Yeah. Do you want to hit the SAVE Act portion?
Yeah. So I think you're bringing in the MEGA Act, the Make Elections Great Again Act, which is a different one from the Save America Act. But the Save America Act is focused predominantly on voter ID, photo ID, citizenship requirements. So there are some arguments that are being made that are like, well, in my state, you can do local elections and actually include non-citizens based off of the state law. And we know that this has been happening in New York and other places. And so therefore, they're making the argument that they're going to have to actually have two separate elections, which the likelihood of passing the Save America Act will be that they'll
be too lazy to actually do that.
No, it's not even just too lazy. It will probably the people, like, this is like an 80% popularity in most communities, even amongst Democrats, and so it's high proponent. So you're looking at a situation where Democrats will start to wake up and start going, "Hey, wait, non-citizens should be voting in our local elections too," and they'll consolidate elections. It really will cause the Democrats to expose themselves on how much they've added to the election processes in most of these places. It's a start. The MEGA Act, the Make Elections Great Again Act, actually goes into eliminating the mail-in ballots for any reason, which, again, this is where people are making the argument that would cause them to force them to do.
You're talking about what is without an excuse. It's like
no excuse.
No
mail-in
excuse.
ballots.
That's right.
Yep. So
no excuse mail-in balloting
for any reason. Not every state has this, but many states do now, especially blue states. And so the argument's being made, just what this gentleman's saying, is that they'll have to have two elections, one for federal, where they can't issue no excuse mail-in ballots, and then a local election ballot. And look, that's up to the people, right? People can make that determination, but the federal government has strict rule processes for the elections. And this would just secure even more. I'm fully supportive of the MEGA Act in addition to the Save America Act.
Let's just go through it. The MEGA Act incorporates the SAVE Act's proof of citizenship requirement for voter reg, but adds additional reforms, including requiring photo ID to vote, stronger voter roll maintenance and cleanup processes, requiring mail-in absentee ballots to be received by Election Day, no postmark extensions, banning universal vote-by-mail systems, which is kind of what you're talking about, banning ranked choice voting in federal elections. That's huge. I didn't realize. That's a bit. Tyler should explain ranked choice voting. Ranked choice voting, in a nutshell, is a way to get rid of the most conservative candidate on the ballot, Anthony.
And in addition to that, force the electronic process that has to be, because you can only do ranked choice voting essentially with computers. Right.
Yeah.
So,
and we wouldn't have Lisa Murkowski. We wouldn't have Senator Lisa Murkowski.
Doesn't Alaska do ranked choice voting?
That's right. That's right.
They're trying to do it in other places. They're trying to do it
only in red states, or places that
Missouri was another one that tried.
Missouri, Utah, Idaho.
It bans ballot harvesting. Great. Mandates auditable paper ballots. I mean, this is great. I like this.
It's a great act. So
it's really good.
But here's the deal. If Congress can't even get their act together to pass the Save America Act, which is just basic voter ID laws, they're never going to get to mega. So step one, and they know this is part of the reason why there's some blockades against the Save America Act, because, again, you poll this anywhere, it's like 80% of the population in most communities that are even purplish are super supportive of the Save America Act.
Yeah,
ID laws.
It polls like crazy.
The population was 76%.
That's right.
The highest was 83%, according to CNN.
76% of Black Americans support voter ID. So they agree with Nicki Minaj. And I think most Americans are under the impression that you need it, an ID to vote already. And so there's not really a controversy here. The only controversy is, why are Democrats blocking something that is so common sense?
Right now, it's almost like they have the ideal world, which is people think this is required, but for their purposes with the voters they want to get through, they know they can get away without having it. And that is a status quo.
Well, we got to take a break here. More Ask Us Anything on the other side of this break. We'll be right back.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shopped. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again. Every dollar you give is being matched up to $50,000. Go now to j6support.com and donate today. This is a monumental moment in American culture. This Sunday, Real America's Voice and Real America's Music come together to do what the mainstream industry won't. Take the music back. Starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, we go live with exclusive pre-coverage of the Turning Point USA All-American Halftime Show, a patriotic alternative. For years, the left has weaponized the music industry, using it to push politics, erase values, and divide the country. That ends now. This All-American Halftime Show exists to celebrate American pride, traditional values, and artists who still stand with the heartland. Featuring Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett. Artists who connect with real Americans. Join us live for coverage that turns the music industry on its head. Real America's Voice, Real America's Music, the TPUSA All-American Halftime Show.
Hi, I'm Chris from Illinois, and we like to watch Real America's Voice in the War Room with Stephen K. Bannon for all the great guts. Everyone from Kerry Lake, the great Frank Gaffney, Trump coming for retribution.
Hey guys, my name is Jeff. I'm from Massachusetts. I love Rav because of the free speech and the political wranglings that go on in the chat every day.
I
I'm Andy M., and I love Real America's Voice, where my voice counts and your voice counts. That is America's Voice.
I know the folks over at Y-Refi, and I'm always telling you how great they are, but Mikey happens to know them too.
Oh, great is an understatement, Andrew.
They're amazing people.
They're the best.
Yeah, I think people wonder if I'm joking or something.
No, they are legitimately good people.
Legitimately amazing. And I went and hung out with them, and the thing I didn't realize is how many like suicidal, depressed people call in, and it's like this core ethos of the company to help them. Anyways, if you have been listening to the show for a while, of course you have heard me talk about Y-Refi. They are amazing people. So if you find yourself in a situation with private student loan debt, which totals about $45 billion in this country, that is labeled as distressed or defaulted, 45 billion of it is labeled as distressed or defaulted, Y-Refi will provide you with a custom payment based on your ability to pay. They tailor each loan individually. They can save you thousands of dollars, and you get your life back. And that's the key. They want to help you get your life back. So we go to campuses all over the place. Every kid in the audience has a mountain of student loans, and a lot of that is private student loans. So we know that the college cabal is ripping off an entire generation, putting off family formation, putting off home buying. It doesn't have to be that way. Get your life back. Visit yrefi.com. That's the letter Y, then refy.com. And remember, Y-Refi doesn't care what your credit score is. Just go to yrefi.com and tell them that your friend Andrew at the Charlie Kirk Show sent you. Mikey knows them too. They're great people. All right. Next question here. Oh, wait. We have a clip that we need to play that was relevant to Anthony's question here. This is Charlie. We're talking about why no voter ID? Why do the Dems not want it? Well, this little exchange exposes exactly why. 586.
How many illegals are coming across the border every day? A lot. So about 10 to 15,000 a day. Do you think Joe Biden... They're all going to vote Dem. You're okay. Can you say that again? The illegals? Well, illegals. Yeah, they're coming here. They're going to vote Democrat, and we're going to win. So you are admitting that you're admitting the border is a political tactic by the Democrat Party. Joe Biden is opening the floodgates of this country because he wants to hold on to political power. We've been saying this for a long time. Proof? You just admitted it. What is he doing to secure the border? When you have 15,000 people a day coming across your southern border, who cares? That is not a mistake. Who cares? But who cares? Do you believe in borders? I believe that... No borders, no. One world government. And final pitch for Joe Biden? No borders, lots of war, more spying, and bankrupt the country? He's still going to win. You guys might win an election, but that will be the death of America if that is the case. So true.
It's funny because you can't really tell if he's doing a bit or not, and like
no, that guy was totally serious.
No,
totally
that guy
serious?
he said it. Did you see his eyes? And he goes like this. He realized he said something that he was like, oh, I wasn't supposed to say that from the chat.
What I will say is to complete the thought, you'll run into people who will do kind of like fake lipstick, and I always tell people there's no point to doing it anymore. Because you basically cannot do an over-the-top parody of a lib. Like they're
such a good.
They already exist for real. Just find them actually saying it. And
that's the guy. That's that guy. That to your point, like he is like that is not parody. That was
from March of 2024.
That's straight from the Joe Biden chats. Like
thankfully they did not win that election.
Andy, you're up next on the Charlie Kirk Show. Unmute yourself and welcome.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Of course, thank you for being a supporter.
Yeah. So, I like to talk about topics that normally, like a lot of people in politics don't normally talk about. And for me, there's an issue with the Child Protective Services. I was just thinking, it's like with Doge, like they should have been one of the organizations that they looked into, because there's actually like a lot of corruption in it. I actually have some very dear friends, really just good Christian people that their lives have been turned upside down because that evil organization took their kids away from them under false claims of child abuse. And it's linked to the medical system because it's like you have to take your child to the hospital if there's like an injury. But if you go there, then the doctor's required to report you to the CPS.
Yeah.
And then you get these corrupt judges like the one they have that are think that you're guilty before being proven innocent. It's like, I'm just, appalled by it that could happen to them. And also that it's like no one in politics is even talking about it at all.
Were nodding. No, I mean, I know two people personally. One who actually works here at Turning Point. He had a bunch of, during the 2024 election, just Trump Vance signs all in his yard. His neighbor called CPS on their family because his kids were like playing in the driveway. And this was like an 8-month ordeal. They had to get lawyers involved. They spent down their savings.
It truly is. It's one of the most Kafka-esque things you can have in government because, even if you're innocent, like once the legal bureaucracy can start moving, it's a tough thing because obviously there are so many cases where people, kids have been horribly abused or even killed, and then they say, well, why didn't we catch this? And as we love to do, we pass all these mandatory XYZ laws, but when those are used against people who are innocent, it's massive suffering for them.
And just the accusation of those innocent people is
an interesting. I can't believe I'm having to do this for a state I basically despise, but New York State does appear to have had an interesting legal change just in the last couple months. They did pass a law. They eliminated anonymous reporting to CPS, which I can imagine there might be cases where you'd want that, but on balance, I do think like if you're trying to save children, you should be willing to put your name on it, and the potential for abuse with purely anonymous reporting is off the charts. You can have an angry landlord. You can have an angry neighbor. The most common of all, an embittered former partner of some kind. That's right. That's who uses this the worst. People who are, former family members, former partners. It's family law is the worst type of law. Every lawyer I've talked to who's been in that says that because it involves people at their worst. It encourages them to behave their worst, and it's very difficult. As Andy would know, it's difficult to improve it too much. And as for why it doesn't get talked about too much politically, it is a state level agency. Obviously, some federal money comes in, but you're not going to have much room for Doge on it because 50 different state laws often also then run at the local level. It is something that's going to reward a lot of local involvement, and that's one of the toughest things to get involved in. Easiest, but also toughest because you have to learn your local rules. You can't easily make it a big national issue. You can't get as much attention on it. It's high effort with lower reward, but it is something we need people involved in because, as you say, it does destroy a lot of lives. And big picture, what we have to do the most is what Charlie cared about, which is reviving the American family, because a lot of the suffering of CPS is downstream of American families disintegrating. We have so many failed marriages. We have so many children out of wedlock.
And a weakened church.
And weak churches. And that's what's that's what makes it easier to abuse kids. And it also creates the situations where people will lie about things to hurt other people because they're using children as pawns. And in a functional family, children are not pawns.
I think that's really well said. Good job, Blake. That was great. We are going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Mikey, Tyler, Blake, and myself on our Ask Us Anything hour.
Welcome to Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Your quick look at the powerful stories of faith and freedom, inspiring audiences across the nation. Angel Studios presents.
I'm Bo Davidson with this Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Most people know the biblical story of David, the shepherd boy who fought Goliath and became king. Well, Angel Studios has created a new animated film called David that tells the story of Israel's greatest king.
There's a light I've always followed when I'm looking for the way, when I'm searching for the answer, in the moments I'm afraid. There's a whisper in the wind and a story in the sky when I'm looking for a lantern to illuminate the night. If you want the secret of freedom and feeling alive, you gotta follow the light. Follow the light.
For those who love great animated classics like The Lion King and Prince of Egypt, David is an awe-inspiring animated musical that depicts David as a spirited boy who fought lions, giants, and even betrayal, depicting how one boy's faith could lead him to be king of Israel. David will be released in theaters just in time for Christmas on December 19th, but your family can get a head start by watching the prequel to the film, Young David, which is streaming exclusively right now on Angel. It's perfect for the entire family and has memorable music. So once you join the Angel Guild, you can start watching Young David right now and prepare the fam for the David film in theaters in December. And by joining the Guild, you'll guarantee 2 free tickets to see it. And it's a great value. Let's be honest, going to the movies isn't all that cheap. But if you're a member of the Angel Guild, not only do you get those 2 free tickets to David, but you'll now have access to every single film or TV series on Angel at your convenience anytime. So just go to angel.com/Rav and join there.
Welcome to Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Your quick look at the powerful stories of faith and freedom, inspiring audiences across the nation. Angel Studios presents.
I'm Bo Davidson with your Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Did you ever wonder what truly happened in the COVID-19 pandemic and whether Anthony Fauci would ever be held accountable? I think we all have. Filmmaker Jenner First has an upcoming documentary that searches for truth, transparency, and accountability called Thank You, Dr. Fauci.
Governments lie.
Anthony Fauci put everyone on the planet at risk without their consent.
It's beyond suspicious.
Research caused a pandemic, killed 20 million, and cost $25 trillion. Fauci would prefer a lie.
Public trust, national.
Welcome back to this Real America's Voice news break. I'm Terrence Bates. President Trump's Trump RX discount drug website is up and running. It launched on Thursday, offering patients a new option for buying discount prescription drugs with cash instead of having to use insurance. The site is a key part of President Trump's efforts to lower health care costs. The Trump RX website features discounts the administration has negotiated with drug companies like Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Eli Lilly, and others. While patients can't buy drugs directly from the site, it does link them to pharmaceutical companies' direct-to-consumer purchasing platforms or coupons that can ultimately be used at the pharmacy. The Winter Olympics opening ceremony is set to get underway in about 30 minutes in Milan, Italy. Thursday, Vice President J.D. Vance met with members of Team USA to encourage them.
You can tell by the ratings from the Olympics, you can tell by the fact that it really brings the country together. Everybody is rooting for you guys and everybody's cheering for you. We're so excited to be here. This has been the highlight of my time as vice president, to get to come, to bring my family to root for the Olympic team. But let me just say personally, I'm amazed by the combination of excellence, sacrifice, and so I hope that you guys enjoy it.
The country's current second in charge is following the footsteps of his predecessors Joe Biden in 2010 and Mike Pence in 2018. Former Vice President Kamala Harris did not attend the 2022 Winter Olympics, though, in Beijing, because the Biden administration launched a diplomatic boycott of those games over human rights concerns in China. President Trump's Trump accounts for newborns and young children continue to gain more private support. The latest company to join the effort is Wall Street giant Citi. Citi says it will match the federal government's initial $1,000 seed money for its U.S.-based employees. Eligible accounts will be for kids born between January 1st of last year and December 31st of 2028. In its note to employees, Citi writes, these accounts are intended to promote long-term savings from a young age and provide children with investment assets that will grow over time. That's a quick check of your headlines.
No one else has the guts to say. The Charlie Kirk Show.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So I wanted to mix it up since we have our friends here and we're going to tell you about Strong Cell. And so I had Emma bring in a Strong Cell little drink here, which I think.
And Tyler was so excited he immediately slurped it all up.
Tyler can't wait through the break. You just
no one gave me instructions.
Tyler goes, "Was I supposed to wait?
Was
for
I?
this?"
Yeah. How was it, Tyler?
It was great,
isn't it? It's awesome. So
right.
this is what. Okay, so
most of these types of things they have like a weird smell. This smells really good.
It literally
tastes really
like
good.
Juice.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's it's strong cell cellular function booster, NADH, CoQ10, collagen right here. So it comes this little 2-ounce thing. You shake it because natural settling may occur. You just twist off the cap. Bon appetit.
The only kind of shots
it's
we
good.
do.
Yeah.
And what I like about this too is they're small enough where you can take them on the plane. So if you're traveling,
just like that. And you just did your strong cell for the day.
Our cells are stronger.
So they have a proprietary delivery of an amazing enzyme called NADH, which is the power source for every cell in your body. That's what it is. By the way, I said Laura Trump uses it.
It's good stuff.
It's a brand new. There's still a little something in here. So Charlie loved this stuff, and we talk about it.
He'd take it every day,
and everybody would ask him about it all the time. And so if you have brain fog, if you have chronic illness, if you're just feeling fatigued, try this for 4 to 6 weeks, and you will notice an improvement. And if you don't, it's completely risk-free. They have a 90-day money-back guarantee right now. Use promo code Charlie at checkout to get 20% off your order. StrongCell.com. Amazing guys, too. I
already feel more awake right now.
Yeah, it'll kind of gives you a little kick.
Gives you a little kick.
All right. Next question is a written question from Sam. And the question is, what are everybody's Super Bowl predictions? I think that's a fair question, given the
predictions are different
I'm all
than
in
desire.
for the Darnold. He's great. One, he's had a great season, but two, the biggest reason I have to pull for the Seahawks and for Darnold is because the Minnesota Vikings let him walk, and they went all in on JJ, and I really want them to regret that for all time, that he immediately went and won a Super Bowl with another team.
I don't know.
Because I'm a Packers fan, and I have a sick desire to see Minnesota Vikings fans suffer.
That is a fair argument.
That is fair.
But the Seahawks are terrible. The city of Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible.
So we love Boston?
Wait, hold on.
Hey, Boston has ties to 1776.
My family came over.
Seattle helped us win World War II. Whatever.
Time out. I'm an Arizona fan through and through, but my East Coast, Eastern Conference, Eastern Side, Eastern Seaboard are Boston teams because my family came over on the Mayflower, and that's where the country started. If it wasn't for the Bostonians, we wouldn't have
Idaho people.
You wouldn't have the NFL.
Idaho is a red state, and I think they're still Seahawks fans, whereas like the greater Boston area is still like all blue states.
Time out.
No,
Time out. If your state,
New Hampshire, yeah, we've totally won that in a bunch of elections, haven't we?
If your state can't,
we're about to.
We will.
If your state can't demand a NFL team, you can't claim a city that has homeless encampments as the proper area of their downtown. You just can't.
Hold on.
Idaho does not claim Seattle.
So what is your prediction? The question is, what is your prediction? We're getting off track here.
My prediction's 27-24 New England.
You're a May pooler.
I'm pulling for Drake May.
My prediction is that in mass numbers, people are going to leave the halftime show and come watch our halftime show.
Mass numbers. CNN disagrees. With you, Mikey.
That's a badge of honor to have CNN disagree with you.
Nobody's watching, but we clip them to make fun of them. 588.
TPUSA is going to have its own halftime show, which they're going to put on conservative media outlets. Kid Rock, who you saw in that clip, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Bryce, Gabby Barrett are going to be performing there. And as they do, just back to Bad Bunny, he is a worldwide sensation.
Yeah.
He's not just popular in the U.S. or in Latin countries and Spanish-speaking countries. It goes all the way around the globe.
Okay.
Wow, Turner's really going all in on Bad Bunny.
Apparently, Bad Bunny's a worldwide sensation. I've never even.
We're gonna have.
We call him Conejo Malo.
We're gonna have heroic. We're gonna have heroic American Hispanics. They're gonna be watching, and they're gonna be like, "I do not like this muchacho. Put on the Turning Point halftime show."
Yeah, they're all Mexican. Apparently,
I can see this scene.
Here's the thing: they say the Conejo Malo is a worldwide pop sensation, but nobody seems to know his music. 524.
Favorite Bad Bunny song?
You know nobody got one.
Favorite Bad Bunny song?
I don't know no Bad Bunny songs.
Favorite Bad Bunny song?
I have no idea.
Favorite Bad Bunny song?
Don't know. I don't have one either.
Favorite Bad Bunny song?
I don't listen to Bad Bunny like that, but she got some good stuff.
What is your favorite Bad Bunny song?
I don't listen to Bad Bunny, so I really don't even have one, man.
Those are NFL players.
She's got some real stuff.
She got some good stuff. I want. It'd be so amazing if we got like some sort of. It's gonna come out like the Seahawks will be down at the half, and then I don't know who their coach is, but he'll rally the troops by he'll have them in their locker room, and he'll hold up a smartphone, and he'll turn it on to Rumble or Rav or which any of the co-sponsors, and he starts playing, and Kid Rock will play. He'll play Ba with the Ba, and they'll be like USA, USA, and then they will charge back out.
It'll be like Miracle on Ice. It'll be like Miracle on Ice. Yes. Instead of it being the coach, they'll just turn on the Turning Point halftime show, and it'll be a full rally. So
this is our prediction.
Yeah.
This will
actually
happen.
A funny angle here is that Chris Pavlovsky. Listen. I'm not giving away all the goods here, but he's going to be at Santa Clara for the big event, and he happens to run a little organization called Rumble, and I don't think he's going to be watching the field action. I think he's going to be watching the screen action. So that'll be fun. That'll be a fun little twist. So I listen.
I heard bars across America and restaurants they're getting prepared to flip over bar owners. Because think about this.
I love this.
Bar owners, by a wide margin in America, are all conservative. And remember, no one's talking about this. No tax on tips. So as everybody's in bars, in establishments, in places leading up to the big game, and then following and during it, all of those people are they're filing their taxes right now. They don't even realize they're going to get a huge return because most of them didn't change their withholding. All of these restaurant workers.
See?
Good point.
The big, beautiful bill is exactly why you need to say no to the Conejo Malo and switch on over to us.
So all these bar owners right now love Trump. They love no tax on tips. All of their employees are about to get basically a $20,000 to $30,000 boon that they forgot about.
Wow.
And they're going to be watching the TPOSA halftime show, the All-American halftime show.
So, and this is what upsets me about this CNN clip, by the way. They were like, well, we don't think that they can win this battle. Listen. Do you think we went into this thinking that, the 180 million people that are tuned in or whatever the number is going to be are all going to switch over? No.
Wait, we also get more viewers on this show than they do.
Switch over and additional people will switch.
We are going to bot the heck out. No, I'm just kidding. So here's the win. Okay, the win is everybody's already talking about it. You on CNN talking about it is part of the win. If we get some people, if you see any dip at all, that's a win. If you don't see a dip, but we see lots of action, maybe what happens is, so here's the
honestly,
instruction.
it's already a win that freaking Bad Bunny had to come out and say, oh, you don't need to have, the Conejo Malo. He already came out and said, actually, you don't need to have no Spanish anymore for the show. Like, they've had to back off.
And the dress, and he backed away from the dress. Yeah. So, listen, all of this is the win. So, next year, if they pick, I don't know, a band that was in Santa Clara area that you could have picked, Metallica, everybody would have loved it, would have been great. If they pick something that everybody can get behind and not some guy who's like, oh, you have 4 months to learn Spanish and I only speak English to the elites at the Grammys in Hollywood and say ice out. If you don't pick those guys, well, maybe then it's already a win. I would love not to have to do this show again in the future, but maybe we will.
I have a prediction. My prediction is that they will learn nothing. They will double down. It will get worse next year, and we are going to have an even bigger tradition of another All-American halftime show.
Who should we have next year?
Well, we may have some announcements here soon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one lesson that we've learned from this whole experience, by the way, is do not try and book performance artists within 3 months. Don't try it at home, folks, because they'll be in Australia, they'll be on tour somewhere else, and then there's like licensing rights.
Believe it or not, good musicians are popular and do things.
But no, there was actually
and they want to do it, but they can't.
Well, and by the way, this is the thing: these are trailblazers, and these guys deserve a lot of credit. So I just want to give a huge shout out to them again because they deserve. So it's Brantley Gilbert, Lee Bryce, Gabby Barrett, and Kid Rock. Huge shout out to them because what they're doing is brave. Yeah. Erica said that, and I was like, that's just the perfect way to say it. They're being brave because if the pioneers that set the tone in year one, we're going to have even more amazing Patriots that come in year 2 and 3 if we keep doing this. So because nobody wants to take on the machine, nobody wants to take on the cabal, nobody wants to take on the stadiums, trust me. It's a whole thing, and
we'll talk more about it.
We'll talk more about it afterwards. But it's been an amazing adventure as well, and the performers have put their heart and soul in it. You guys have seen the rehearsal footage, right? Like I'm telling you, like this, we're not messing around here,
very cool.
So we're putting our best foot forward. Very exciting. Oh, my prediction: Seahawks are going to take it. They're going to take it, but it's going to be close. I don't know. 27-24. That's probably about right. It could be a little higher scoring than that.
I'm pulling for a breakout moment for Drake May. I disagree. We talked about off camera. We're like, I can't stand another Patriots dynasty. I actually think it's great for the NFL
this is my argument for the Dodgers in baseball. It's good to have a villain.
Hey, no, I love the Dodgers being a villain if there's a salary cap.
No salary cap.
Yeah, salary cap, and you can't kick out international players' salaries for 50 years.
You squarebacks.
Jeez.
You circlebacks.
I guess I need an actual score. I'm gonna go for an absolutely twisted score,
8-7.
Man, it could be. I mean, the Seahawks have the #1 defense. I don't know if did the Pats have a good defense too? You could get a total trench warfare meltdown.
See, the argument for the Patriots.
Let's go 14-13, and there's going to be at least 5 combined turnovers.
Wow. So the argument against the Patriots is that they had a really easy schedule, and also that the Seahawks were in the best division in football.
All right, here's what we're going to say. Send us your predictions at freedom@charliekirk.com. Blake's going to read them. And also, are you going to watch the All-American Halftime Show? And do you think we should do it again? Those are your questions. Should we do it again? Are you going to watch? And what's your predictions for the game? We will be reading those on the other side of this break. freedom@charliekirk.com. We'll be right back.
We should get this.
Welcome to Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Your quick look at the powerful stories of faith and freedom, inspiring audiences across the nation. Angel Studios presents.
I'm Bo Davidson with this Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Most people know the biblical story of David, the shepherd boy who fought Goliath and became king. Well, Angel Studios has created a new animated film called David that tells the story of Israel's greatest king.
Followed when I'm looking for the way, when I'm searching for the answer, in the moments I'm afraid, there's a whisper in the wind, and a story in the sky, when I'm looking for a lantern to illuminate the night. If you want the secret of freedom and feeling alive, you gotta follow the light. Follow the light.
For those who love great animated classics like The Lion King and Prince of Egypt, David is an awe-inspiring animated musical that depicts David as a spirited boy who fought lions, giants, and even betrayal, depicting how one boy's faith could lead him to be king of Israel. David will be released in theaters just in time for Christmas on December 19th, but your family can get a head start by watching the prequel to the film, Young David, which is streaming exclusively right now on Angel. It's perfect for the entire family and has memorable music. So once you join the Angel Guild, you can start watching Young David right now and prepare the fam for the David film in theaters in December. And by joining the Guild, you'll guarantee 2 free tickets to see it. And it's a great value. Let's be honest, going to the movies isn't all that cheap. But if you're a member of the Angel Guild, not only do you get those 2 free tickets to David, but you'll now have access to every single film or TV series on Angel at your convenience.
All right, welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show. I do want to tell you guys that are members of this show, members.charliekirk.com, we are going to be doing a family business call on Tuesday. So that's just you to be a part of our production team. So you get to tell us what you want us to cover, what you like about the show, what you don't. I do have a great email here for you, Mikey, from Joe. It says, guys, give Mikey his own show or at least 15 minutes without any background noise. I think I'm the background noise.
I don't know about that.
Okay. That's cool.
We got Robbie. He emails. He says, I predict it's going to be Darnold's day. He's going to be a great American hero, and the Hawks are going to trounce them. It's going to be like 35-14. Yes, I'll be watching the All-American Halftime Show on my phone. By the way, I don't know if you introduced him, but who is this Tyler guy? He seems cool.
Very nice.
He's
pretty
the
cool.
COO of Turning Point Action. He helps run Chase the Vote.
This man was with Charlie longer than any of us here.
Yeah, literally when I was coming to work for Charlie, it was me and Tyler negotiating. So,
All right, 2 shows. Who's this Tyler guy in 15 minutes with Mikey?
Yeah.
We should launch this.
It would be like a Groundhog Day show. Every single day you introduce Tyler like he's a new personality.
This is a great point.
Time.
Emails are flooding in. Thank you, guys. Jennifer says, do you guys remember when Pearl Jam tried to buck the stadium system and couldn't stand up to the cabal? That is totally true. Mm-hmm. Jennifer also says, we are watching Turning Point Halftime Show. We have young children in the house. However, we would watch anyways. I love that. See, this is the thing. Okay.
If you have children, there's only one.
There's only one option.
There's only one All-American halftime show.
Ted says, once the Packers are out, I quit watching football. I really sympathize with that, Ted. I did not watch any of the other games.
I'm that way with the Cardinals. That's why I only make it like 3 weeks.
That's why you never
fantasy football every year.
That's why you've never watched a playoff game in your life.
Yeah, basically.
Oh my god. All right, what's the question?
Wait. Cherie says that she's going to be watching. Sanford says not watching the game at all. Do not care about it. Period. I will be watching Rav the entire time up until that time frame, so you'll be watching.
Charisse predicts 16-19 with the Seahawks winning, but also she says we should get Guns N' Roses next year, which I think some of them are lib, but we should should have Axl Rose and Slash get back together, and they get on stage and they say that they're like right wing now.
Pam,
love America.
What about
Pam says
Saxon would be great, but they're British, so they're not all American.
Pam says absolutely continue the halftime show. Thank you, Pam. In her prediction, Seahawks win 27-17. Missy says, oh my gosh, I'm loving seeing Blake share his personality more and more, his imagination, and I'm with him in the Vikings fan thing that comes from being a Packers fan through and through.
Thank you, Missy. Thank you very much.
With some heart emojis.
Michelle says, yes, she's going to be watching, and yes, make it an annual event. Lisa, I want to text all my friends, especially those that have not yet seen The Light. Can't wait to see your show. Ginger, Mikey needs to have his own show. Mikey doesn't get to talk. Mikey, we're going to stop talking.
Let's have Mikey answer. We want to get this last question from one of the subscribers. Mick, we believe you're still there.
Yes, sir.
There we go. Mick, what's your question?
All right. So last week I asked you guys about who we'd like to see indicted. And now I want to ask you guys who should be pardoned that hasn't been pardoned yet. The one that comes to my head off the rip is Derek Chauvin. I don't even really have to explain it.
Yeah, so I want to answer that one because that's come up before, and I talked with Charlie about it. And I obviously think he would deserve a pardon. I do think he was wrongfully convicted in a political hysteria. My understanding is the people closest with Derek do not want a federal pardon right now because they see challenging his federal conviction as a way to sort of delegitimize the case against him. Like they would prefer to sue in federal court and have the conviction eventually thrown out somehow. Yeah. Whereas a pardon would accept the legitimacy of the verdict in return for clemency, but then he still is stuck in state prison.
Yeah. Got it.
And so for their legal strategy, they do not want a pardon right now. I may be behind the times. I last heard about this many months ago. So perhaps that's evolved, but that might be why that hasn't been discussed more. Although I 100% agree he would deserve one. I do think he was wrongfully convicted. Other people who could be pardoned, this is a less satisfying answer because I know it's not what you're looking for. I thought it would be funny if President Trump would announce that he is pardoning Hillary Clinton for all of the things that she did for Benghazi, for her email server, and just come out and say, in the interests of moving on,
such a good move,
and healing America and showing that we don't have, we aren't going to pursue these people for their past crimes, I am pardoning Hillary Clinton. And then you put the ball, and Bill, and you put the ball in their court where they have to accept or decline. And if they decline,
it's sort of a way to just put their guilt in their faces again.
Yes.
Actually, because like them actually being held accountable, probably not going to happen. So it's a way to sort of rub it in their noses.
Yeah, their lawyers are probably telling them they have to.
I think that's a good option. Although the audience is probably going to want to see them.
They'll probably think I've lost my mind. Mikey, who would you pardon?
Snowden.
Snowden. That's a good answer.
That's a good answer. Well, this is why you need your own show.
Yeah, Snowden. But there's a lot. I think there's disagreement though.
Who deserves it more, Snowden or Assange?
I said Julian Assange because Julian Assange he wants to be here. Yeah. I don't know if Snowden does at this point, and he might be too tied in with the Russians. That's he may not be able to detangle that ever again. But Snowden, I actually think, could be a huge asset to the government and to our people. And I think he's a truth teller, and I think he's been
I get that
wrong.
I lean more towards Snowden. Assange, I know some of their early releases through WikiLeaks, like you at least have a credible claim that they put like American troops in danger, American lives in danger. They were a little bit reckless with what they released. Whereas with Snowden, I really do think Snowden, he found the government doing something flagrantly illegal. They were lying about it.
Yeah.
It's almost classic like 70s Intel thriller level of, oh, I'm in this machine and I discovered it was flagrantly illegal. And yeah, everyone would say, oh, if he was truly honest, he would have come forward in America. Well, no, because you lunatics would have thrown him in prison. So he did the only reasonable thing, which is he had to flee the country. And even if he's like tied himself in with Russia in some way, I think the argument that is very fair is he had to do that to avoid possibly being murdered, possibly being imprisoned for life.
He's probably honestly living such a great life, though, in Russia. They've probably given him everything he wants.
I think he has a home in Russia, but I don't think it's a life you'd love. Like the Russians, if you see that when people flee to Russia, like some of these ex-Assad guys, they get a home. Like Russia will make sure you can live here and we won't bother you. But it's not a great life otherwise, necessarily. I'm pretty sure. And you're always monitored. I'm skeptical it's amazing.
I'm pretty sure Russia's taking care of him.
Hold on. We got to read through some more of these. We got 40 seconds. Janet says, I won't be watching football, only your halftime show. Yes. Bridget says, I only watch college football, and I'll be watching the American halftime show. Your halftime show. Do it annual.
Wait, play back your favorite college game and then watch at halftime.
Howard says, guys, this household is all in on the All-American halftime show. We will be watching the game, which sadly I believe Seattle will have a huge lead, and he's going to switch over. Jody, your halftime show. Thank you, guys. The emails flooded in. I love the excitement. All-American halftime show. We'll see you on Sunday.
Welcome to Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Your quick look at the powerful stories of faith and freedom, inspiring audiences across the nation. Angel Studios presents.
I'm Bo Davidson with this Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Most people know the biblical story of David, the shepherd boy who fought Goliath and became king. Well, Angel Studios has created a new animated film called David that tells the story of Israel's greatest king.
Followed when I'm looking for the way, when I'm searching for the answer, in the moments I'm afraid, there's a whisper in the wind, and a story in the sky, when I'm looking for a lantern to illuminate the night. If you want the secret of freedom and feeling alive, you gotta follow the light. Follow the light.
For those who love great animated classics like The Lion King and Prince of Egypt, David is an awe-inspiring animated musical that depicts David as a spirited boy who fought lions, giants, and even betrayal, depicting how one boy's faith could lead him to be king of Israel. David will be released in theaters just in time for Christmas on December 19th. But your family can get a head start by watching the prequel to the film, Young David, which is streaming exclusively right now on Angel. It's perfect for the entire family and has memorable music. So once you join the Angel Guild, you can start watching Young David right now and prepare the fam for the David film in theaters in December. And by joining the Guild, you'll guarantee 2 free tickets to see it. And it's a great value. Let's be honest, going to the movies isn't all that cheap. But if you're a member of the Angel Guild, not only do you get those 2 free tickets to David, but you'll now have access to every single film or TV series on Angel at your convenience.
They tried to shut them up.
There's no guarantee to free speech.
They tried to cancel them.
Deplatforming works.
They even threw them in jail.
Peter Navarro,
Steve Bannon,
now in prison.
But they couldn't stop them.
There's not a prison bill that will ever shut me up.
They call them rebels.
Basket of deplorables.
They call them rogues.
They claim to values or religion.
And they say they're outlaws.
These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass.
War Room presents Rebels, Rogues, and Outlaws.
You set out to take Vienna. Take Vienna!
The national bestseller by longtime Bannon producer Dan Fluette. Take a journey through the pictorial history of War Room. In a culture that celebrates the weak, show your support by standing with the rebels. Go to doitfluette.com or scan the QR code on your screen. Use the code RAV20 for 20% off your order. Stand with the rebels and never back down.